Hey guys, Ron Bondo Build Construction here today at the Nadura Foundation. We're gonna be pouring a lot of concrete today, guys. Stay with us. Like 48 yards, something in that neck of the woods, 44 to 48 yards. We're pouring inside this foundation. It's about 100 degrees in here. We're pouring at 11 o'clock, so not good, but we're gonna get it down. And then we gotta pour the garage foundation. I don't even know if you can see me in the sun, but we're gonna pour the garage foundation, the walls and the footer integral. It's gonna be a fast-paced day. I'll try to get some video footage of how we're doing this. Thanks for watching.
Ron, you should be going live.
Going live?
People like the live stuff.
Do they?
Yeah. Uncut.
This is what we're doing, guys. Hot as hell in here. We're setting our grade right now. Putting lines on the walls. We're gonna snap some lines. You can see how much sun's in this damn thing. A bunch of little pads we gotta work around. Put it away, Evan. Weird beard. Then we gotta go inside of this thing. This is gonna be the best spot right here. There ain't no sun in here really. No, that guy took it.
You did?
Tom took it. This part's gonna be the best part. It's nice and shady in here.
I'll finish that.
Take you out here. What do you need the tape for?
I was just going to pull down off top of the wall for that in there.
Oh, okay. You can, yeah. Or I don't know if I'd do that. Set your laser, yeah.
Really?
I would. Get off your phone, Pat. We got work to do. What's up, my man?
How we going, man?
Getting ready to work. Pour some concrete.
Pump it.
Pump it. We're doing, there's the walls, guys. We're doing the footer integral with the walls. This is looking down into the foundation. They're setting the grade right now. This is a little breezeway. We got to pour that. Footer's integral. These doors' heights got changed a little bit, so that's what that is there. They decided they wanted to drop the floor in the garage a little bit, so just cut some slots in it. There it is. Alright, we're stretching out the overhead pump. That's a 20-meter pump. So we're going to pump the whole floor first, and then we're going to go into the walls after. That's why we did it that way. We're trying to save on the pump charge. That's why we ended up trying to do this whole thing one day. It's going to be a challenge, but we'll get it done. There's Pat from Vitaly. Big project, everybody. Huge project. We're going to power screed this bad boy. I put water reducer in the concrete, so we're going to be pouring it. It's going to look a lot looser than it really is because of the water reducer. We're going to pour it. It's going to look like about a 7 slump, but it's actually going to be about a 5.5. Just so it flows easier, try to get it in as fast as we can. I'd like to put this concrete in an hour or less in the floor. That's my goal. Hour to an hour and a half. I want to have this whole floor done. Because of the sun. Like I said, the sun's right over our head over here. Hey guys, Bondo here. I'm going to speed things up for you. So we're pumping out this truck here, and here's the first 10 yards that came in. And like I said, we're power screeding everything here. Trying to get in as fast as we can. We ended up getting this whole floor done in just about an hour. We got the whole thing in, which was pretty good. We were flying on this thing. The pump driver's real good. He jumps right in there when he's needed. His name's Pat Nash. Nice guy. He does a good job for us. He works for Vitaly and Robinson. So we're into the second truck here. Same thing. We're just pouring it out as fast as we can. We got a laser set up in there, and we're setting some actually we didn't use a laser on this one. I checked those center pads and they were right on grade because those center jack post squares, they wanted to cement the jack post in. So we checked all them with the laser and they sat right on a footing, so they were right on the money. So we didn't even need the laser for this. We set some lines earlier on. But like I said, we were just zipping along here. And we got it. There's a root cellar in this thing, so we had to jump in there a little bit and fill that root cellar in. So here's the third truck, third 10 yards. We didn't use all of this 10 yards on the third truck. We ended up dumping it into the ICF wall, so it worked out pretty good. Whatever we had left on the third truck, we just dumped into the wall, and then we had a fourth truck which had another 10 yards on it, and we started the ICF wall. Here in a minute, we jump right out of this floor and we start pouring the ICF wall, and that's how we did it. Went pretty good. Saved a lot of money on pump charges doing it this way. Had to have quite a bit of guys because it was so hot that day, but it was nice to get it all done in one day. So here we are pumping, guys. That's me, obviously, with the hat on and the orange shirt, and I'm pouring the walls. That's Josh, my buddy Josh, in the yellow shirt. And right now we're going around. We're just trying to fill up the footer a little bit and maybe like a block up from the wall. We didn't try to fill too much this first pass around. I want to get some concrete in the footer, and I had a couple guys like vibrating the footer. There's a gap around it. You can kind of stick the vibrator in there and just sap it. Make sure it flows down into the footer good. And if a little bit oozes out, I had a guy down on each side with a mag, just magging it along, making sure it's full. And that's what we're doing on this first lap around. I'm kind of balancing on the wall. I got pretty good balance, so I'm just kind of holding onto the hose and walking the wall there. I didn't want to put scaffolding up on here. I was afraid it would kind of pull at an angle, because the only thing holding this whole assembly up is really, sitting on the footer like that is the stakes that are in the ground. And we pounded them right down into hard clay. They weren't moving, but I didn't want to stand on a scaffold on the outside of the wall and kind of pull the wall. So that's how I did this. I mean, if you don't have good balance, I wouldn't be trying to do it like this, but I've done it quite a few times. So that was trip one around there. Like I said, we got the footer full, and then we started on the second run around, trying to fill it up right to the top. And like I said, the guy in front of me, he was vibrating it, so that was Chris. Chris was vibrating the wall, and on the first pass around, make sure the whole footer was full. And this was kind of messy here along these doorways. The customer changed his mind after we built it. He wanted to have his floor down lower, so we actually he did it. He kind of lowered the doors, but he didn't take the blocks out of there, so it's kind of a pain to get the concrete in there, but it actually worked. But we thought the floor was going to be too high, and I was questioning it, but they changed their mind anyways. So that's why it looks kind of funny in the doorways. They're just going to cut that section out after it dries. Just take a saw and cut the rebar with a target saw. Right in here, it was a pain to get the concrete in there. I spilled a little bit of it. But anyways, this is, on this trip, we're just filling it up to the top. And Chris is going to go back around and vibrate it. And what we did here is, like I said, we had 30 yards for the floor. And that had a little bit left over. So maybe 2-3 yards left over after the floor. Dumped that into the wall. By then, the fourth truck was there. That had 10 yards on it. So then we were at 40 yards, and we just about finished with the 40 yards. And I figured this thing about 44 yards, so I knew I needed a balance, but I wasn't quite sure exactly how much it was going to be. So I told the concrete company that we'd dump 40 yards, and then we'd call them in with a balance. And that's what we did. And like I said, I got around this thing. You'll see here in a few minutes, I got right to the end and had maybe 10 foot of the breezeway left, and I ran out of concrete. So we had to order 1 yard of concrete, which kind of sucked, but
I knew I needed a balance, but it ended up, like I said in the video, I figured I'd be pouring, 44 yards or up to 48 yards, but only ended up being 41 yards, so still a lot of concrete to put down in one day. We had to really hustle on this one. As soon as I poured this wall, me and Josh, we jumped down in there and started finishing the concrete, and we were hustling. And Chris was on knee boards. Actually, Josh was on knee boards too here. He jumped down in there real shortly and started kneeboarding edges, and so did Chris. Started kneeboarding edges. Actually, had to have the other guys put the last yard of concrete in the wall and put the anchor bolts and stuff in because we had to get on that floor. It was about 100 degrees down in that basement with the foam and stuff, and once that concrete started to react, I like to pour these floors with one course of blocks laid. A lot of times I'll lay one course in the Dura block and then pour my floor. I got several videos where we did it that way, but it doesn't always work out that way. So getting concrete and availability and stuff doesn't always work out that way. So here's me and Josh on the power trowels, guys. We as soon as we poured that wall, like I said, we lacked a yard on it, so we jumped right down in here and got finishing on the machines. Chris is over here to the right, boarding the edges or troweling off the edges. Here he is, right there. There's a shade line there. If you can really see that shade line. That's the trouble with pouring the floor after these walls are up when they're open like this. You'll get over where Chris is. He's leaving some real deep footprints, almost sinking right in. And me and Josh are over there. It's getting hard as a rock on that other side. You can see to the left, the sun just reflects right off those blocks. And if you're using the white ICF blocks, of different brands of them, it's even worse. These Nuduras are like a blue color. They're not as bad. So that's like what I said earlier, is I like to, when I'm doing basements, a lot of times I'll put one course of Nudura blocks down. I'll spray foam that to the footer and I'll pour my floor right then. But it doesn't always work out that way, getting the concrete and all that. And this one here, we had the floor spray foamed underneath the floor, and then there was some radiant tubing that had to go down and stuff. So we had to coordinate all that, so just didn't really work out that good to do it that way. So we ended up doing it this way, and we maximized the pump charge by doing that garage at the same time, like I said earlier. So that worked out pretty good, but it is a pain to finish these floors. You can see right there that shade line. It's pretty obvious what's going on. As I'm stepping into this doorway, I'm kind of leaving some deep footprints, believe it or not. And over where Josh is, it's hard as a rock. And I thought this is the root cellar that I'm in right now. I thought this root cellar was gonna, really take a long time to dry, because it was, well, you can see that division right there of sunlight versus shade right down the middle of it. So the right side was real hard, and over to my left was soft again. So it kind of finishes up funny. So you really got to pay attention to the way the sun is beating on these things. There you can see a distinctive shade line behind me. So it makes a big difference, guys, when you're finishing these. Just pay attention to that. Or pour the floor first, like I said, after lay one course and pour the floor first. I've did a few videos pouring the floor first, and the nice thing is you can reach right over the wall and trowel it off. You can mag your edges and close your edges up real nice. You don't have to be on knee boards or nothing. So something to think about. If you guys are new to my channel, my name's Ron Bond. Everybody calls me Bondo. we do a lot of concrete work, do a lot of Nudura foundations. We do a lot of flat work. We do stampcrete. In the wintertime, we fix up houses. I'll buy a house a year and fix it up. If you like that kind of stuff, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I got a lot of videos on there. I got over 100 videos and good stuff on there. If you like fixing up houses, stuff like that. Also, if you guys like this video, you're getting some value out of it, smash that like button for me. That'll help me out on YouTube. They'll start ranking my videos higher and putting them on suggested videos. And it's algorithm, they call it. And any interaction that you can give me is good too. You got a comment, whether it be good or bad. Give me a comment or a question on what we're doing. Or if you ever done anything like this or did it a little different, let me know. I like the dialogue anyway. I can learn from it, just like you guys are learning from me, I hope. I like to learn too. Definitely some of the questions or feedback I get actually helps me out a lot. So thanks again, guys. You guys are probably wondering why we poured this floor at 11 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, that's as hot as it was that day. It was 90 degrees out. And inside the basement, like I said earlier, it was over 100 degrees when the concrete started to react. But it's hard to get the concrete this year with the coronavirus and everything. Everybody's behind. So it's almost impossible to get to the first truck out the door. I think I called this concrete in, a week and a half in advance just to be able to get it that day. So that's why we did it, just to answer a question in advance. I'm sure you guys are wondering, who the heck would want to pour 41 yards of concrete when it's 100 degrees out? But that's how it worked out this day, guys. And we got it done, and we had to spritzer a little water on there as we finished it just to work the cream up. I got a Coke bottle in my hand there, and the guys will fill them up with water and throw them down to me. We just take a nail and poke a hole in it, and I just spurt the water on there like that. Josh is actually over there, and he's got a bucket hanging off of his power trowel with a brush on it, and he would just shake that brush out on there, which I thought that worked pretty good. But you didn't need to do it over in the shade. There's Josh with his bucket. Worked pretty good. He's over in the sun right there, and the sun's just pounding off that wall. So he's trying to get it shined up. And over where I'm actually kind of in a little bit of a shade spot over to the right there. So it's still a little soft where I'm just troweling along right now. So like I said, it finishes up pretty funny. But you just gotta watch your shade and stuff. Watch where the sun's hitting. And you don't really have to remember. If you put it in as fast as we did, it all dried pretty much the same except for what was in the shade. Everything else caught up to itself. But right there to my right, you can see that shade line. I actually waited quite a while to finish that section down through there. I had to kind of just wait on that, like you would a whole floor. I was just waiting on just that section to my right. That's real typical whenever we do these ICFs like this. When they're wide open and the walls are built, it's real typical. You're going to be waiting on that shady spot. You're going to be waiting a while. I think we had this floor shined out, burned it in black, and I probably had to wait another hour on that section. It is what it is. Just got to get it done. I got a little tip for you guys when you're doing these big floors and stuff like this. Make sure you have an extra power trowel. I've had a few times where my power trowel broke. And good thing, one time I was real close to home. I was able to run home. I have a 4-foot trowel and a 3-foot trowel. I was able to run home quick and get my 4-footer. And it would have been a bad day if I couldn't get that other trowel And when it's hot like this, I wouldn't have time to go get another trowel. So Josh brought his trowel, and I had mine. Josh runs float blades on his trowel, and he's got the quick detachable float blades, and he takes them off after he floats the floor, and he runs finished blades. I've been running combo blades, guys. I don't know why, I just like them because I don't have to switch anything. A lot of times I'm finishing a floor by myself. I really don't want to mess with the float blades. I've used them in the past. You know, they do finish maybe a little different. You know, some guys like them better. You know, putting the floats on and then switching them to the finished blades. But for me, I just like the combo blade. But you know, to each his own. Whatever you like, you know. Let me know in the comments if you guys like combo blades, or if you never use combo blades, or you strictly like finished blades and float blades. You know, if you're gonna go that route, though, I like those ones Josh has because he can pop them right off there, spring loaded. You know, I used to use the slip-on kind of float blades, and they were kind of a pain. They were hard to clean, and stuff got in them. I just didn't like them that much. They're kind of like Josh's. Well, that's it, guys, for this video. Watch the end here. I'll do a little walk around, show you how it turned out. Thanks again for watching my videos. I hope you got something out of this video. You know, I hope it helps you out. You can pour footers and floors and walls all at the same time if you got the right people. And you make sure you got enough people. Make sure you have, you know, the right equipment, and you can do it. I mean, I wouldn't try it on your first year doing this stuff, but once you get the hang of it, go ahead and try it. It'll work, save you a lot of money.
Alright guys, I got the floor in, walls poured. Come out pretty nice for about 100-degree day today. This is it. 41 yards it ended up being. Got the floor and the walls and the footer on the garage. We poured that footer at the same time.
Right. Pretty real nice.
Check out my video on how to build these footers with these walls. It works pretty good. This is the breezeway area. That's the garage, obviously. There's the garage doors. See the footer, how we did it. Like I said, it's in the other video. Check it out. Saves you a lot of time. Saved on pump charges too.
And then it'll melt out in the winter time, melt all the snow out of your vehicle. Yeah, and we're going to do it once and do it right.
This is the root cellar. Floor polished up pretty nice in there too. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video, guys.